Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 10-Minute Tuesdays, where we tackle a career development topic in 10 minutes or less. This week, we're going to talk about the power of informational interviews. My name is Heather, and I'm a career counselor at University of Wisconsin-Superior. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is what we're going to talk about today. What are informational interviews? Why we use them? How do we ask for them? What questions should we ask? And what are some helpful resources? So let's jump into what is an informational interview. You can think of it as an informal but professional conversation in which a person, you, seeks insight from someone with experience and knowledge in the area or areas of interest. But why is it called an interview? That's something that students get kind of hung up on. It's because you're asking well thought out questions to gain information. So you need to think about those questions ahead of time and present them to the person. So what do we use them for? What is the benefit of doing them? They're the best way to really learn about a company, a great way to learn about careers, jobs, occupations, career pathways. You can get advice from someone with more experience than you. So you might be asking, how do I get to the next level? Or how do I move from maybe this to this? How do I move from college into the career? Those sorts of things. It's a really great way to network and make those professional connections that we know are just so critical and important for being, mobile in our careers and moving up. Because again, 80% of that job market is hidden. The only way that you can access it is through your network and those professional connections. And that's what that last bullet on this slide is about. Those hidden job opportunities found through connections. How do I ask for an informational interview? It's probably best that you try to call, but you can also send an email or some sort of a message. I know that sometimes people do informational interviews maybe within their organization, or you might have a LinkedIn connection or trying to make a LinkedIn connection, or maybe it's Facebook, but just make sure to be short and clear. Keep the message short and clear about why you're reaching out. You don't want it to be convoluted. You don't want them to be confused. Those sorts of things. Try not to make a pitch. Don't ask for a job in that email, outright. So give an amount of time and really stick to that. So if you really are looking only for 10 or 15 minutes, keep it there. If you're looking for a half an hour, great. If you're looking for an hour, that would be considered long, but that would be also appropriate for lunch. So you definitely want to try to give something back. This shouldn't be just you taking from the person. So oftentimes what we'll see is an invite to coffee or lunch. There's a good resource from bemeaningful.com written by Amanda, I don't know how to say the last name, Minuk, maybe, Minuk, 8/1/2017. It's called How to Ask for an Informational Interview by Email. And that's a really fantastic resource. What questions should I ask? This is something you really need to consider, because remember, you're interviewing the person and you want to make sure that you get your questions answered as far as the information you're looking for, but then also have questions, other questions ready for things that may, come up. So you may be asking follow-up questions, or something they say may further spark your interest. So there are a number of resources here to guide you. Mac Pritchard, Mac's List, the best informational interview questions to ask and why they work. Themuse.com, which is a fantastic site, all about careers and jobs, and tons of career advice. So 7 questions you can't leave an informational interview without asking. And then I love the material that the Harvard Business Review puts out, how to get the most out of an informational interview. And more resources. LinkedIn Learning has a course on informational interviewing. You have free access as a UW Superior student to LinkedIn Learning. So go ahead and use that. Cal Career Center's YouTube channel has this informational interviewing for career exploration video. The Web Center Clinic has the informational interview video as well. And those are all great resources. So that's what I have today on informational interviews. If you are trying to figure out, what can I do with my particular major, and you want to explore careers, but don't have a lot of time to do maybe a job shadow, or you don't want to jump into volunteering until you know a little more, all of these different scenarios are really great for informational interviews. And quite honestly, even if you're not exploring, if you're just kind of looking for ideas or want to learn more about a program or an initiative or a strategy, informational interviews work really well for all of these sorts of things. And so even people like me as a career counselor, when I'm trying to just learn more, I will do an informational interview with a colleague. And these are usually fantastic opportunities. And typically these folks are more than happy to help spend time with you and get you the information and insight that you need. So I highly encourage you to think about doing some informational interviewing. So that ends this week's 10-minute Tuesday, where we take a career development topic and explore it in 10 minutes or less. Again, I'm Heather from UW Superior. Thank you for listening this week, and take good care out there.